Hey, hey, hey. Smoking session's coming on. Light one up and pay attention.
American Indian Contributions to the World. Health Innovations Part 1. Anatomical knowledge, the understanding of the structure and the function of the parts of the human body, is the foundation of the medical practice. In order to successfully treat illnesses and injuries, ancient American Indian physicians needed a broad knowledge of human anatomy, including the skeletal system. The Aztec, whose civilization arose around 1100 AD in Mesoamerica, were so expert in medicine compared to the European physicians that reportedly the Spanish conquistadors preferred to seek help from them instead of barber surgeons who accompanied the Spaniards in the New World. See, Aztecs understood the workings of the heart and the circulatory system long before Europeans possessed such knowledge. They were familiar with main details of the internal parts of the heart as well. Keep what I just said in mind as you watch the end of the video. The Aztec not only developed sophisticated anatomical knowledge but also classified the parts of the human body, organizing them into systems. The Nualu-speaking doctors developed an extensive vocabulary that identified virtually all of the organs that science of the anatomy recognizes today. The terms that follow are only a small sample of the terms routinely used by Aztec physicians. In contrast to the Aztec, or any American Indians for that matter, Europeans had less understanding of the internal organs and their functions. Physicians in the Middle Ages relied on medical texts written by Galen, a Greek who lived from 130 AD to 200 AD. He taught that blood filled arteries and he described the chambers of the heart. Considered to be scholars, physicians did not make practical application of this anatomical information, nor did they do anatomical research, since they viewed the body as worldly and of little consequence. For the most part, they focused on Galen's unfounded theories that taught that illness was caused by an imbalance of four bodily fluids called humors or humors. Surgeons who were viewed as craftspeople treated patients mainly by bloodletting. Medieval Europeans who believed illness was a punishment for sin treated most sickness with prayer and penance. Now on to anesthetics. Anesthetics are the substances that cause partial or total loss of sensation or loss of consciousness. They were used by pre-Columbian physicians in the Americas for a number of medical problems such as bone fractures, gout, rheumatism, and neuralgia. American Indians also used anesthetics for surgery, including brain surgery, as early as 1000 BC. Coca, peyote, and datura are three of the many anesthetics American Indians used to numb feelings of pain. Coca, or coke, as it is known today, was used both as external and internal anesthetic by Inca physicians who understood the drug's anesthetic property. The Inca culture arose about 1000 AD in what is now Peru. When they used coca externally, they prepared it as a poultice and applied it to the painful areas of the patient's body. Inca physicians also had their patients ingest coca before any surgery. Not until Carl Colla's 1884 experiments in Germany did the non-Indian world discover cocaine's anesthetic properties. Soon after, the modern medical community stumbled upon cocaine's ability to suppress sensation. The plant-derived drug became popular among physicians. You can go on and pause and read the rest. It goes on about the Aztec using peyote and the Virginia Indian using Jamestown weed or datura. So on this one, I'm giving a special shout out to Vivian Thomas. He was an American laboratory supervisor who developed a procedure used to treat blue baby syndrome in the 1940s. Now it's known as sciatic heart disease. I feel as though he never got his just due. Later on he was awarded a doctorate, but for most of his career, somebody else took credit for his work. You can already guess how he looked, but let's get into the great Vivian Thomas.
Prestigious medical institutions is the painting of a man few know much about.
Everybody go and say, who's that?
Vivian T. Thomas never had more than a high school diploma, yet most heart surgeons know his name. As a lab technician at Johns Hopkins, Thomas helped develop an operation to correct a congenital heart defect in children called blue baby syndrome.
And it was really Vivian's dedication and brilliance in the lab developing this surgery that allowed this to move forward. And it was basically the beginning of surgery on the heart.
It came with enormous challenges. Racism was a barrier throughout his career.
He was one of the 20th century's greatest surgeons, and he never operated on a human.
Vivian Thomas did receive an honorary degree from Johns Hopkins in 1976, but he didn't get recognition for much of his career.
Knowing him, he probably said something like, "I fixed the heart." That would be the end of it.
But his son-in-law says he was all about heart.
I would want people to understand that he was the most kind and the most steadiest person I believe I have ever met.
It's one of the reasons he's so glad to see so much of Thomas's contributions well preserved in the Hopkins Medical Archives.
This is the prototype defibrillator.
Vivian Thomas was part of that too. Johns Hopkins set up a fund in Thomas's name. It was established to increase diversity, but it's not the only place where his legacy lives on.
So these are x-rays so that she's able to see if the patient has any cavities in between.
Vivian T. Thomas Medical Arts Academy prepares students to enter the fields of science, mathematics, and various healthcare professions.
So students have an opportunity to get certified in a pathway in the medical field.
It offers either job training or preparation for secondary education.
So I want to be an orthodontist.
The one thing that students can take away from this school is they can become whoever they want to be because the obstacles can be overcome.
Just like the man their school is.
Blood pressure 68.
Yes, go on.
Watch the carotid. Yes, traction on the suture.
Okay, now the clamp Vivian made.
A clamp? The one just right here. Yes.
And we're about to connect the shunt.
Blood pressure 60. No, 59.
I know, I'm almost there. Now, front interrupted.
Good, that's good, doctor, that's good. Just a little more now.
Removing the bulldog clamp.
I see some bleeding there.
I know, I see it too. Suture. Suture.
No, doctor, the other way.
Yes, yes.
Good, got it now.
Bleeding controlled. I'm palpating the connection.
What do you feel?
I can't tell if blood is flowing through the shunt. It's just too small to feel anything.
Dr. Blaylock, you have to see this.
Oh my God. My God.
Her blood pressure is rising.
Evacuate the blood of the chest cavity, Bill. Put in the chest tube.
Reinflating the left lung with oxygen.
Ready for closure.
Smoking Sessions with Chief Pressure.